Hey, Amani scholars, Mr. Garcia over here, and this week we're going to study harmony in music class. Two things before we start. There's going to be an exit ticket after this lesson, and we're going to use no flight, and we're going to write some chords. We'll talk about that at the end. Also, there's going to be a quiz on this harmony lesson, but the quiz will be 2 weeks from today. So not this upcoming week of the 18th, but rather the week following that. Okay, so we're gonna use this PowerPoint created by Nearpod, and it's called an overview of harmony. Also, I'm gonna share it with all of you in the assignment page. Okay, so let's start. Before teaching this lesson, you should review the sections of consonant versus dissonant in preparation to lead the class into the group activities. And uh, just so you know, we're going to be viewing some videos. Some of the videos are a little bit long, so I might just give you a minute or so, but let you think about the main point of those videos. Also, there's an interactive keyboard. And since I'm pre-recording this lesson, some of the parts of the lesson have like sticky notes that you should be able to write on it. Just I'm going to give you some time to think about the questions that are posted. How is harmony used in music? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define and recognize harmony, compare harmony to melody, and explain how consonance and dissonance is used to communicate different feelings in music. Let's get started. Exploring harmony. We're going to start off class today creating harmony using Chrome Music Lab. As you click on a piano key, watch what happens to the other keys. How does the sounds change? Okay, so we have a keyboard right here, and the major is selected, and we notice there are three notes highlighted. Now let's try the minor option. What happened to the sound when you clicked on a piano key, and why? Also, this is my personal question to you. What was the difference between the major chords and the minor chords? Takes some time to think about that. So when I clicked on a piano key, three keys in total were highlighted and were playing. This is called a triad. It's the simplest form of a chord. And when we clicked on major sounding keys, we noticed that they tend to sound happy or give a happier mood. The minor chords tend to sound sad. Okay, let's move on. Today we're going to learn about harmony. We will practice recognizing harmony and comparing it to melody. We will also examine how consonance and dissonance is used to communicate different feelings. Learning about harmony is important because it is a valuable tool for creating and performing music. Listening to the harmony. We're going to start off listening to Pentatonics and Dolly Parton singing Jolene. As you listen, think about whether all of the singers are singing the melody. Okay, open-ended question. This is for you to think. Were all of the people singing the melody? Why or why not? Just think about this. No, not all of the singers were singing the melody. The lady in the middle was singing the melody, and all of the other singers had harmony parts. There was even a singer that was playing sort of a beatbox, and the other one in the other end was playing the bass with his voice, and the other singers in between were singing either alto parts or tenor parts that made the chords around the singer who was singing the melody, right? In Jolene, the singers were not all singing the melody. In fact, they were simultaneously singing different pitches. When two or more pitches are combined at the same time, we call this harmony. Just like melody, not all harmonies sound the same because it depends which pitches are combined. Melody versus harmony. Next, we're going to watch a video of a cappella troupe doll performing Blackbird, originally by the Beatles. As you listen, try to recognize who is singing the melody and who is singing the harmony. Remember, the melody is the main tune of the music, and the harmony is the other pitches occurring at the same time. Okay, how harmony can enhance melody. Let's just think about the video that we just saw about Blackbird. Once again, the singer who was singing the melody was featured in the middle, and then the other singers that were singing harmonic parts were around the main singer. Okay, so that was just another example of the main melody being accompanied by harmonic parts. Okay, now let's talk about chords. Harmony happens when there are two or more pitches sounded at the same time. We call these simultaneous pitches a chord. Open-ended question. How are triads represented in sheet music? What are chord progressions? This is actually very important to our exit ticket at the end. In sheet music, the triads are represented by the notes stacked up on top of each other, like here, 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 and here. Okay? And chord progressions, what are they? They are different set of chords played one after the other and then cycled or looped For instance, you can have a chord progression of just two chords and then repeat over and over again. So that would be a two chord progression. You can have a chord progression of three chords, four chords, and more. And today we're going to be focusing on a chord progression which has four chords repeated over and over, which creates a very nice sounding chord progression. Chords in pop music. Next, we're going to watch a video that includes 13 pop songs played on the piano. All of the pop songs use the same four chords to create harmony. As you watch, notice how the three orange piano keys played simultaneously make a chord. Okay, so you get the idea. These four chords are used in pop music a whole lot. And all of these songs with different melodies have the same four chords. These four chords are known as 1, 5, 6, 4. Okay, and you're saying why numbers? Well, because they are the grades of the scale. One being like C, then 5 being G, 6 being A, and 4 being F. Um, at this moment, that might sound a little bit confusing, but when we get to the exit ticket in No Flight, you will understand a little bit better. Let's move on. How did the chords impact the overall sound of the music? Think about the same four chords were used to tie the different melodies together. I think when you listen to all those different melodies back to back to back, you realize, oh yeah, they're actually the same four chords. But when you listen to the songs all by themselves, in your spare time, they kind of sound different just because of the melody. So I guess in this case, the melody has a deep impact on the sound of each specific song. Using harmony in music. Harmony not only changes the sound of music, but it can also change how you feel when you listen to music. Some harmony can make us feel peaceful, while other harmony can make us feel sad or nervous. You can change the feeling of the harmony by changing the notes in the chord. Okay, so that was the different versions of chords, one being consonant and the other being dissonant. How do consonant chords make you feel? Use words and pictures to describe your feelings. In this case, just think about it. They kind of make you feel at ease, relaxed, mellow, or happy. They were really relaxing, right? List adjectives that describe dissonant chords or how you feel when you listen to them. So the dissonant chords were a little bit stressful on the ears. Um, they felt for some reason they felt wrong, like a wrong note was being played. They get a tense, or they made you feel tension, right? Another open-ended question: how can harmony be used in music to evoke different emotions? Just think about, for instance, very romantic songs. They usually use consonant chords, or happy songs, or um, fulfilling or empowering songs. They usually use consonant harmony. On the other hand, songs that might be, for instance, used in scary movies or in a tense suspense movie, they might use dissonant chords to make you feel a little bit a sense of tension, right? Harmony in Scotland. Next, we're going to take a field trip to Scotland, home of the great Highland bagpipe. The bagpipe is an instrument that is a good example of harmony. First, let's explore Scotland. How is it similar to or different from your hometown? So it takes kind of like a 3D picture, and this is Scotland. Looks really nice. We see like an old castle from the medieval times. Looks really beautiful, I must say. Okay, let's move on. Now, let's listen to Danny Boy played on the bagpipes. As you listen, think about what bagpipes are, about why bagpipes are a good example of harmony. Remember, harmony occurs when there are two or more pitches at once. Okay, so The bagpipe is made of a bag that holds air and several tubes coming out of the bag. Player blows air into the tube and the other tubes called drones make sounds whenever the bag is squeezed. In fact, each drone usually makes a different pitch, which creates a harmony. What are other examples of people or instruments that can make harmony? Use words or pictures to list as many details as you can. Think about it. Other instruments that can make harmony are guitar, a keyboard, an organ in the church, um, other stringed instruments like the violin, the cello, and if you have a group of people singing together, like a choir, they can definitely make a harmony. Consonance or dissonance. Now we're going to play a game called Consonance or Dissonance. For this game, we will listen to a piece of music. As you listen, pay attention to the way the chords make you feel. Then you will need to choose whether the song is an example of consonance or dissonance. Okay, so think about it. Do you think that the harmony was consonant or dissonant? If you thought it was dissonant, you are right. That composer was using a lot of techniques to superimpose chords on top of each other that were not the normal type of chords that you might hear. So it was definitely dissonant. Consonance or dissonance. Next, we're going to listen to Mozart's Clarinet Concerto in A, performed by the Kölner Academy Orchestra. As you listen, pay attention to how the chords make you feel. Okay. Was this a piece of music an example of consonance or dissonance? Explain your thoughts. It was consonants, or the chords were consonant. Most definitely. The difference between the previous example and this one was abysmal. And this example, I believe it was in a major key. The chords were very soothing, and they were played traditionally without any of the tension that you heard in the previous example. Okay, so this is a little game that the Nearpod um, has for the students who are participating. So I know that I'm pre-recording the lesson, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a try. Okay, so harmony is two or more pitches occurring at the same time. Smooth sounding and stable chords. That to me sounds like consonant. So smooth sounding is a consonant. Chord progression. Chords occurring one after the other. Harsh sounding and unstable chords. Dissonant and triad. A chord consisting of three tones. And I must say to you, students, that these questions might definitely come in the quiz 2 weeks from today, because they were kind of like a check for understanding on all the material we studied so far. Okay, so circle the triads in the sheet music. So we see triad over here. Again, carried over to the next measure over here. And that's it. Creating melody. Next, we're going to use Chrome Music Lab again to create our own melody. This time, as you click the piano keys, think about the pitches are combining to form triads. Also, compare the sound of chords based in minor and major scales. Okay, this might be the other exercise, so I'm just gonna try to skip over that because we already did the chords before. Okay, let's just move on. Okay, this is a quiz in Nearpod, which I can just read the questions and answer the questions from you. And this is a great example of questions that might come up in the Google Classroom quiz that I prepare. So yeah, let's just go through them. When are two or more pitches sounded at the same time, it is called harmony. The drones in a bagpipe are an example of harmony. When the question asked a drone is just a sound that just keeps on going for an extended period of time. It's usually in the bass range. So the bagpipe sounded like boom. That's a drone. Okay. Question number three. A chord consisting of three tones is called a triad. If if a piece of music contained pleasant, smooth sounding chords, you could describe the chords as consonant. All right. Write a definition for harmony. How is it different than melody? Just think about it and then I will answer as well. So, for starters, melody is usually a single melodic line. For instance, a singer by herself or by himself singing the melody of the song. The chords might be two or more notes stacked up together, creating the chord progression behind it. So that is the main difference between melody and harmony. Okay, so this is something that I'm going to leave you to think about. What did we learn today? We learned about consonant harmony, dissonant harmony, triads, a drone. We learned about the melody versus harmony. Triads are constructed together, stacked on top of each other on a music staff. Um, so yeah, let's move on. Okay, so and since you are not actually logged in, I'm just gonna skip this. And thank you very much for your time and attention during the harmony lesson. Now, let's dive into the no flight part of this lesson. Okay, so I've prepared the exit ticket. Again, you are mimicking me or you are doing exactly as I do in order to learn for a first time how to construct your very first chord progression. And the chord progression that I picked is the 1 5 6 4 chord progression from that very same lesson. And that is found in pop music all over the world and many dozens of songs. So that's why I picked it. Okay, so let's listen. Okay, so that is final the final part or the final um, product of the 1 5 4 1 5 6 4 chord progression. A total of 9 bars that you're going to hand in again in PDF and MP3. This is the export function or feature, and I need the PDF and also the MP3. Now I'm going to teach you how to write it from scratch. So create, start from blank, and then we're going to just use the piano as it is, the tempo as it is. So let's start by writing the name. It's 1, it's a capital I, 5 is a capital V. It's kind of like in Latin, right? These are the Roman numerals. Then 6 in lowercase v I, why? Because it's a minor chord. And then F is going to be uppercase V. I'm sorry, uppercase I V. That is the Roman numeral 4. So 1 5 6 4 chord progression. Then write your name on the document. Okay, so I want to start off by writing whole notes on the bass clef. Okay, so the first note is going to be a C, and it's going to be on the second space. Okay, now I want to change that note to a whole note. So I'm going to look for the notes that I need. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just in case you lost the notes or the duration of notes, you have to go to the menu in the left and click on duration. Right. Now, I want that C to be a whole note. There we go. Then, after C is going to be G. G is the first line on the bass clef. Then after G is going to be A. It's the first space in the bass clef. Then I want to play F, a space below the staff in the F clef. Okay? So now it sounds like this. Okay. And now it's time to build the actual triads in the treble clef. The first triad is C major. So I'm going to pick a half note and write C. I want it to be a half note. Okay. So C, E, G. E is on the first line, and then G is on the second line. So that is C major. Okay. Once again, C, E, G. Oh, C, E, G. There we go. Now the second chord is going to be G major, and I want to write a specific inversion, and this specific inversion is going to be B, D, and G. And then once again, I repeat that. Okay. Then I'm going to write A minor. A minor, we're going to start with C, E, then A. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat C, Okay. And lastly, CFA, which is F major. Once again. Okay. And that's it in terms of constructing or writing notes. Now I want to label the notes. Now please be careful when you're writing the chords. They must be these specific notes. If you write some different notes, they are going to be different chords. Okay, once again, for C major, I want to write the name of the chord on top of this. Okay, I just write a capital C. Maybe I want to move this out of the way. Okay, there we go. Then for G, I want to write a capital G. That's it. For A minor, I want to write a A and then a minus sign. That's it. And for F, I just want to write a F and then capital F, and that's it. Now remember, the triad chords for C are C, E, G. C, E, G. The triad notes for G are B, D, and G. B, D, and G. The triad notes for A are C, E, and A. Once again, C, E, and A. Lastly, the triad notes for F are C, E, and okay. This is a mistake. This should be C, F, and A. C, F, and A. You see, even I make some mistakes, but I just caught them. So this score should be C, F, and A. Okay, let's fix that. Okay. So this is great that it just happened on the video actually, because you can see that it's something that is easily overlooked. So you have to be really careful when you look at those notes. Okay, for F, it should be C, F, and A. C, F, and A. Okay, now let's just hear it. Okay, it sounds like that same chord progression, right? That's because it is. Now, we want to create 4 more measures right here by clicking on the plus sign, add measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to copy these 4 measures in the beginning and then click Control C or Command C if you have a Mac. Then select the 2 measures in measure 5 and then click Control V. There you go. And it's now copied. You have 8 bars of the same chord progression. And lastly, you're going to write a whole note with C major. Again, whole note. So I want that C, which is second space. And then C triad. Again, I want a whole note. I want a whole note, so I'm going to change it back to, there we go. So C, E, and C, E, G. That's it. Now I want to delete this last measure. I'm gonna click it, last measure, and I delete it by clicking on the delete measures tab. That one, and this one. Okay, perfect. So let's hear it. Click on the first, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I had an issue with the sound. I'm gonna start again. Okay. Okay, that's it. All right. So, once again, really important when you're going to export this, export full score PDF and then MP3 audio, and you're going to submit two files into the Google Classroom assignment, a PDF and then MP3. Please don't submit a MIDI. It's not the same as the MP3. I can listen to the MP3, but I cannot listen to the MIDI. I want the MP3 and the PDF. All right. Once again, if you have any questions, write me an email at fgarcia@amanicharter.org or write me a message on the Google Classroom. All right, scholars, that's our lesson for this week. And have fun. Take care. Be safe. Bye bye.